TV soap news and spoilers say that in the labyrinthine world of Beyond the Gates, where opulence masks deception and every whispered secret carries the weight of a guillotine, the revelation of Leslie Thomas's true parentage has sent shockwaves through the gilded corridors of Fairmont Crest. The saga, steeped in drama and intrigue, centers on a single, earth-shattering question: will Ted Mitchell uncover the truth that Leslie is not, in fact, the daughter of Barbara Mitchell, the enigmatic former member of the Articulates? As the threads of this tangled web unravel, the stakes climb higher, threatening to topple the carefully constructed facades of the elite. This article delves deep into the heart of this mystery, exploring the motivations, betrayals, and consequences that define Leslie's journey and Ted's relentless pursuit of the truth. The foundations of a secret. The story begins with Barbara Mitchell, a woman whose beauty and charisma once lit up the stage as a member of the Articulates, a renowned musical ensemble that captivated audiences in the 1980s. Barbara was a star, her voice a siren call that drew admirers from every corner of Fairmont Crest's high society. But beneath her radiant exterior lay a woman burdened by choices that would haunt her for decades. When Barbara discovered she was pregnant, the weight of her ambitions and the unforgiving scrutiny of her social circle forced her to make a decision that would alter the course of multiple lives. Unwilling to sacrifice her career or endure the scandal of raising a child out of wedlock, Barbara turned to her closest confidant, Peaches, a woman whose loyalty was matched only by her discretion. Peaches, a figure shrouded in her own quiet mystique, agreed to raise the child as her own. The baby, named Dana at birth but later known as Leslie Thomas, was handed over with a single, ironclad condition: her true parentage must remain a secret, buried deep beneath layers of lies and misdirection. Barbara's decision was not born of malice but of desperation, a desperate bid to preserve her carefully curated image in a world that forgave little and forgot nothing. Peaches, ever the faithful friend, upheld her promise, raising Leslie as her own daughter, weaving a narrative so convincing that even Leslie herself never questioned her origins. But secrets, like cracks in a dam, have a way of seeping through. As Leslie grew into a poised and ambitious young woman, she inherited not only Barbara's striking features but also a burning desire to claim her place among the elite of Fairmont Crest. Unbeknownst to her, a trust fund established by Anita Dupree, a wealthy patron of the Articulates and a close friend of Barbara's, awaited her. The fund, a fortune amassed through Anita's shrewd investments, was intended for Barbara's heir, a legacy meant to secure a future of privilege and power. When Leslie learned of the trust, she saw it as her ticket to infiltrate the exclusive enclave of Fairmont Crest, a gated community where wealth and status reigned supreme. But the path to Fairmont Crest was guarded by more than just gates. It was protected by the vigilance of Ted Mitchell, Barbara's estranged brother and a man with a nose for deception. Ted Mitchell, the guardian of truth. Ted Mitchell is no stranger to the machinations of Fairmont Crest's elite. A man of sharp intellect and unyielding principles, Ted has spent years navigating the treacherous waters of high society, where alliances shift like sand and loyalty is a currency rarely spent. As the patriarch of the Mitchell family, Ted is fiercely protective of his family's legacy, a legacy tied to the very heart of Fairmont Crest. The Mitchells, with their sprawling estate and impeccable reputation, are the gatekeepers of this exclusive world, and Ted takes his role seriously. When Leslie Thomas arrives, armed with her trust fund and a claim to Barbara's lineage, Ted's instincts tell him something is amiss. Ted's suspicions are not unfounded. Leslie's sudden appearance, cloaked in the aura of Barbara's legacy, raises red flags. Her polished demeanor and calculated charm are too perfect, too reminiscent of the carefully crafted personas Ted has seen crumble under scrutiny. He begins to dig, his inquiries subtle at first but growing bolder as the pieces of the puzzle refuse to align. Why had Barbara never mentioned a daughter? Why had Peaches, a woman known for her reticence, suddenly become so vocal about Leslie's connection to the Mitchell family? And most importantly, why was Leslie so determined to gain entry to Fairmont Crest, a community that guarded its borders with the ferocity of a lion? Ted's investigation takes him deep into the past, unearthing memories of Barbara's time with the Articulates. He recalls the whispers of scandal that followed her departure from the group, the hushed conversations about a pregnancy that was never confirmed. Ted's mind races as he connects the dots, each revelation fueling his determination to protect his family from what he perceives as an imposter. But the truth, as Ted will soon discover, is far more complex, and far more dangerous, than he could have imagined. Leslie's ambition, a house of cards. Leslie Thomas is no mere opportunist. She is a woman driven by a hunger for belonging, a desire to escape the shadows of her modest upbringing and claim a place among the elite. Raised by Peaches in a small, unassuming home on the outskirts of Fairmont Crest, Leslie always felt the weight of being an outsider. The stories Peaches told her, of a mother who was a star, of a legacy waiting to be claimed, ignited a fire in Leslie's heart. When she learned of the trust fund, it was as if the universe had handed her a golden key, a chance to rewrite her story and step into the life she had always dreamed of. But Leslie's dreams are built on a fragile foundation. Unaware of the secret that binds her to Peaches and Barbara, she moves forward with a confidence that borders on recklessness. Her attempts to gain entry to Fairmont Crest are marked by a series of calculated moves, charming the right people, leveraging the trust fund, and invoking Barbara's name at every opportunity. Yet, for all her cunning, Leslie is blind to the storm brewing on the horizon. Ted's scrutiny is relentless, and with each step she takes toward Fairmont Crest, she draws closer to the precipice of her own undoing. Leslie's journey is a masterclass in dramatic irony. The audience, privy to the secret of her parentage, watches as she navigates a world that is both tantalizingly close and impossibly out of reach. Her every move is shadowed by the specter of truth, a truth that threatens to unravel not only her ambitions but the very fabric of her identity. As she attends lavish galas and rubs shoulders with Fairmont Crest's elite, Leslie is unaware that Ted is closing in, his investigation peeling back the layers of deception that have protected her for so long. The unraveling, a truth too heavy to bear. The turning point comes when Ted uncovers a crucial piece of evidence, a letter, tucked away in Barbara's old belongings, that hints at a different story. The letter, written in Peach's careful hand, speaks of a child who was not Barbara's but another's, a child taken in to protect a friend's secret. The details are vague, but they are enough to confirm Ted's suspicions. Leslie is not Barbara's daughter. The trust fund, the legacy, the claim to Fairmont Crest, all of it is built on a lie. Armed with this knowledge, Ted faces a moral dilemma. Does he expose Leslie, shattering her dreams and potentially destroying her life? Or does he allow the lie to persist, granting her the chance to live the life she so desperately craves? The decision is not an easy one. Ted knows the consequences of revealing the truth will be far-reaching, affecting not only Leslie but also Peaches, Barbara, and the delicate balance of power within Fairmont Crest. Yet, his duty to his family and his unwavering commitment to truth compel him to act. The confrontation is nothing short of explosive. In a scene charged with emotion, Ted confronts Leslie at a grand ball held at the Mitchell estate. The chandeliers gleam, the music swells, and the air is thick with anticipation as Ted calls Leslie to account. He presents the letter, his voice steady but laced with sorrow, as he lays bare the truth. Leslie's world crumbles in an instant. The guests, their faces a mix of shock and fascination, watch as Leslie's carefully constructed facade collapses. Her protests are futile, her tears a silent plea for mercy, but the truth is undeniable. She is not Barbara's daughter, and her claim to the trust fund, and to Fairmont Crest, is null and void. The aftermath, a tragedy foretold. The fallout is devastating. Leslie, stripped of her dreams and her identity, retreats into a shell of her former self. The trust fund, once her golden ticket, is frozen pending further investigation, leaving her with nothing but the bitter taste of betrayal. Peaches, racked with guilt, confesses her role in the deception, revealing that the child she raised was not Barbara's but that of another woman, a friend who had died in tragic circumstances. The revelation only deepens Leslie's sense of loss, as she grapples with the realization that her entire life has been a lie. Ted, too, is not unscathed. Though he acted out of duty, the cost of his actions weighs heavily on him. He sees the pain in Leslie's eyes, the devastation of a woman who believed she was on the cusp of greatness, only to have it ripped away. The Mitchell family, once a pillar of Fairmont Crest, faces whispers of cruelty and judgment, their reputation tarnished by the public spectacle of Leslie's downfall. Barbara, who had long since retreated from the spotlight, is drawn back into the fray, forced to confront the consequences of her past decisions. The tragedy of Leslie Thomas is not just her own but a reflection of the world she sought to enter. Fairmont Crest, with its glittering facades and ruthless gatekeepers, is a place where dreams are both born and broken. Leslie's story is a cautionary tale, a reminder that the pursuit of status and belonging can come at a terrible cost. Ted, in his quest for truth, becomes both hero and villain, a man who upholds justice but at the expense of another's dreams. A legacy of secrets. As the dust settles, the question remains. Was Ted's decision to reveal the truth justified? For some, his actions were a necessary defense of his family's legacy, a stand against deception in a world where truth is a rare commodity. For others, he is the architect of Leslie's tragedy, a man who wielded his power with devastating precision. The truth, as always in Beyond the Gates, lies somewhere in the gray, where motives are complex and consequences are never simple. Leslie's story is far from over. Though her dreams of Fairmont Crest have been shattered, her resilience hints at a new chapter, one where she must forge her own path, free from the shadows of Barbara's legacy. Ted, too, must navigate the fallout, balancing his duty to his family with the weight of his choices. And in the background, the gates of Fairmont Crest stand as a silent witness to the drama, their iron bars a reminder that some secrets are too heavy to remain buried. In the end, Beyond the Gates is more than a soap opera. It is a mirror held up to the human condition, reflecting our desires, our fears, and the lengths we will go to protect what we hold dear. Leslie's tragedy is a testament to the power of secrets, the fragility of identity, and the unrelenting pursuit of truth. As viewers, we are left to ponder, what would we have done in Ted's place? And what will become of Leslie, a woman whose dreams were built on a lie but whose spirit remains unbroken? We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV soap news and spoilers for more updates on Beyond the Gates.